With such a glowing introduction, I almost feel like I should just say thank you and sit down. But I do want to comment a little bit. This is the 37th annual conference. And for those of you who are so dedicated and die-hard to wake up so early in the morning to come to this part of the conference, I applaud you. If I were running conferences, nothing would start before noon. Yeah, and I suspect that there's a majority of this people coming to this conference who aren't here yet, who are more like me in that regard. But you have taken time out of your life to actually get up and be here early, and I appreciate that. The movement that NORML is sort of the national leader for is a social, a cultural, a political, and a legal battle. At one point, I actually was in a cafe listening to people talk about marijuana policies, and they were having a debate between this one person who was arguing that the United States policy on marijuana is stupid, and was explaining why it's stupid, and the other person was saying, no, you're wrong, the policy is insane. and I mean, it's like, I'm not sure why they were arguing this. And then, since this is Berkeley, a homeless person who was standing at the doorway said, you're both wrong. The policy on marijuana is absurd. So, being an outspoken person, of course, and being a coalition builder and wanting all three of those people to vote for me, I went over, since I didn't know any of the three of them, and I said, well, I just wanted to assure you that all three of you are absolutely 100% right. Our U.S. policies are stupid, they are insane, and they are absurd. Luckily, the people of our country and of our state and of our city are way ahead of the politicians. And so, you know, while we do have some educational work to do in terms of getting the broader public to understand legalization, you know, in terms of the decriminalization aspects, I think there are many people, both Democrats and Republicans and independents, who understand that spending so much money to put so many people in jail and prison, which then makes us spend so much more money on keeping them there, is not a cost-effective strategy. And other people, you know, sort of get it more on a moral or political sense. But I think the combination of the practical financial devastation of this war on marijuana is starting to sink in. And even, I mean, I personally, you know, support Obama rather than McCain, but I think even if you listen to John McCain's statements, the limited comments he's made on this subject, even he is sort of admitting, you know, George Bush has gone a little bit overboard in having the DEA do such, you know, so many attempted crackdowns and spend so much money attacking marijuana. So, you know, like, God forbid John McCain wins, but even if he did, I don't think we would have the kind of nightmarish situation that we have now in terms of the aggressiveness of the enforcement. So we are about to see a major change at the federal level. No matter who wins the election, things are going to change. But does that mean that we should just sit quietly and assume that, you know, the new president is going to lead the charge and, you know, totally reform our policies and make them practical and intelligent. Things don't happen that way. As a politician, I know politicians pretty much don't take the lead and make things happen almost never. I mean, they basically never do. They respond to public pressure. And, you know, so that's why groups like NORML are so important, because you and your movement can create the preconditions and create the pressure to make federal changes, to make state changes. Prohibition has been tried on so many different things. I mean, you think about mostly people hear the word prohibition, they think about alcohol. But there have been prohibition movements in America for so many things. People have proposed and have actually implemented laws that prohibit things much more damaging and serious than drugs. Things, for instance, like listening to music. Dangerous things like dancing. Dancing. I mean, some of you are probably too young to remember this, but there are parts of America where it's been illegal to dance. And it's been illegal for some people to read. Reading has been prohibited. And certainly, you know, even until this day, there are many prohibitions on sex. But, you know, in spite of all these prohibitions, people have continued to read, people have continued to dance and listen to music, and shockingly, people have continued to have sex, and people have continued to use marijuana. So, you know, I commend you for being here to be a part of this organization. I believe that we are going to win. I think we're going to win decriminalization. I think in the long term, we're actually going to win the battle on legalization. But it's going to be a battle, and it's going to be multiple battles along the way. This conference gives us a chance to be a part of that movement, and I'm glad you're all here. So I guess the California Supreme Court knew that you were coming here to California today, and so they very wisely decided to deny one of the most recent challenges to medical laws here in the state of California, and they issued their opinion yesterday. So I guess the State Supreme Court of California is welcoming you to California with open arms. Just like that. Thank you.